Morning, kitty cats. How's it going this morning? Whew. I am some kind of sore. So yesterday, I finished everything on the shed but the roof. Turn this down a little bit. I finished everything on the shed but roofing it. The shingles, got tar paper on, which is a good thing because it rained last night. Hey Susie, how's it going? Susie Eve. So the shed just needs the shingles on it and the shed will be done. And I got the door off the hinges, the garage door off the hinges. So I got to flip it over. It's freezing there. Oh no. It's low 60s, but it's going to get up into the 80s today. So it's right now, it feels really good. Feels really good. You know, if it weren't wet, I probably should be working. But with everything so wet, it's like, can't cut the grass because it's too wet. Can't rip the shed because I got to let the water dry off some. At least I did get the tar paper on it, so it won't take it too terrible long to dry off. High 80s today. Yeah, it's going to be in the 80s here. It was in the 80s yesterday. But you know what? That's better than down south where it's probably already 80. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it'll get 80 up here and it'll stay 80 for about 3-4 hours. But 3-4 hours of 80 as opposed to waking up and it's 80 is, you know, a lot different. Hey, baby, how's it going? Oh, my God. So anyway, let me show you the garden. I got blossoms on the cucumber, on the squash finally, and peppers have a little bit of blooms. Yeah, and the green beans, I haven't seen any blooms on them yet, but look at all the green beans I got. Because when Mary will eat vegetables, that's one of the vegetables she will eat. So turn that down a little bit. There we go. So I got plenty of green beans going. Yeah, I need to pull some onions and some lettuce and all of that. So you love our tall trees? Yeah, we got a massive amount of trees. Oh, for me, yes, I need to pull some for me. Pull a few onions and pull some lettuce. Here, let me see if I can show you some of the lettuce, see if it will up. There it is, right there. That's lettuce. And then that's like just one crop of lettuce. So I'll show you all the shed from here. I don't know if you can see it, but right out there between the porch, you can see it. There we go. So there's the wood shed out there. It's already got like a third of the thing of wood in it. And I got, after I finished getting the shed built, then I got wood to split. Mary and I went yesterday and I bought wedges because I knew that there were supposed to be wedges, but guess what? They were in Georgia. So much for that. Those wedges are gone. And so I had to go buy a couple more wedges so that I can split the big logs we have laying around here. So trying to clean it up a little bit, you know. Get that was like, that and the hillside is like our last two places of out of control outside. I mean, seriously, everything else is pretty much in control, and you know, it's just a matter of doing stuff as it happens and maintaining, and then building extra if we want to build extra. But yeah, the shed, the wood out there was out of control because I had wood all up under the picnic pavilion. I got logs laying out beside the picnic pavilion that need to be split. So the grass, because the logs were big, I didn't roll them to the side, so the grass was up above some of the logs. It was one little messy place in the yard. And so once I get the logs split and that put away, then, you know, that'll be done. I got a whole bunch of old wood outside the fence that's too rotten to really keep, but it's not rotten enough to where it will break away. So Mary and I are going to have some more massive fires at some time because I still got this massive amount of wood outside the fence that I've got to clear out. And, you know, so it's another several days work getting everything straightened out down there. But once it's done, you know, we just won't let it get that way because that's like part of the problem we inherited kind of thing, you know. One of those things I kept trying to get something done about, but my father-in-law, no, just leave it there. Just leave it there. So anyway, that will be done, and then we'll move on to the next project. We bought paint. Oh my God, have any of y'all bought paint lately? Even the cheap shit is like $39 a gallon. The cheap shit. And I don't buy the cheap shit because I only want to do it once and then it'd be done for like my lifetime. You know, for 20, 30 years or something. You know, maybe touch it up, but that'd be about it. So, you know, so by the time you buy a quality paint, you know, like Sherman-Williams or the top brand Vespar or some of those things, you're looking $45 a gallon. And what a hit. The last week, we've bought 4 gallons of paint, you know, and I've only opened one, and that's for one of the doors. So it's going to take me a while just to do painting I got to do because, oh my God, the garage door, it had a few places on it. I said, man, we need to touch that up. And Mary said, well, you know, we need to go ahead and put a weather strip on the bottom of it. So I pulled the door off the hinges and I put it on sawhorses, pulled the weather strip off of the bottom, which really was in bad shape, does need to be replaced, you know, and started looking at the door, and shit, I had over half the door stripped down to the metal before I even got to a point where I could think about, okay, let's sand it out now. I mean, it was crazy. Of course, I don't think that door's been painted in 20 years, but still, God almighty. It's a good thing it was a metal door, because, I mean, I took it all the way down to the metal. All the way down to the metal. So, I mean, you know, anyway, so we got that done. Got the one side painted, got it sand. Now I got to flip it over. And I looked at it, the other side's not going to be that hard, because it was the interior part of the door. And so it's going to paint up pretty quick. So, I mean, I got a couple more hours there. By the time you let things dry and all of that, it'll be another 2 days, and then I'll be able to hang that door. And then I got to start on the basement door. So, projects, you know. Some of this stuff would have been done last year, but it rained even more last year than it's raining this year. So, I mean, you know. Oh my God. So anyway, it rained more last year than it rained this year, even though it's rained a massive amount this year. At least this year we're getting, a couple of days of sunshine, then some rain. A couple of, a day of sunshine, then a couple of days of cloudy, then some rain. And I don't want to fuss too loud because if it quits raining, then the temperatures are probably going to go up, you know. Temperatures are probably the only thing keeping everything. I mean, the rain is probably the only thing keeping everything down as far as temperature-wise is concerned. But it's really nice out here right now. There's a breeze blowing. Breeze blowing. You hear the wind chimes. Definitely relaxing. Definitely relaxing. So what's going on with everybody else this morning? What's going on in your part of the world, Susie? What's going on in your part of the world, kitty cats? What's happening? Anything important? Anything going on? Anybody want to bitch about Trump or some other snowflake thing? I'll bitch about something. Mary was telling me about in New Zealand, where they're passing this law about animals being sentient beings and, all this kind of stuff. I hope the whole island of New Zealand is ready to become vegetarians, because even though they might mean it to protect, against the cruelty of dogs, some smartass is going to go along and say, you can't eat sentient beings, and since animals are sentient beings, you cannot sell meat in the grocery stores anymore. Now, somebody says, oh, that wouldn't happen. That's how the government gets control and does what they do now. They pass some little law. Dinner with a couple of friends you haven't seen. Cool. Where y'all going to? A steakhouse? The new vegetarian place down the street? I hope you're not a vegetarian, because if I am, you'll probably be offended pretty shortly. I'm not an extremist. I'm more of a low-carb kind of guy. Buffalo Wild Wings, all right. We go there from time to time and get their wings with a dry rub on them. But we don't go there very often for a couple of reasons. One is it's always loud. It's always loud here. They got like 20-something TVs going on inside. People talk loud to be able to be heard over the TVs, and then it's really loud. So that's the first reason. It's loud in there. And then the second reason is that it's just 45 minutes away. And going somewhere 45 minutes to have wings is like, Going to get what, Mugs? Oh, wings. Okay. No, I said going to Buffalo Wild Wings is like a pain, because it's, their wings are good, but they're so far away. They're 45 minutes. It's noisy. So last time we went out to the patio, and we were like the only people. We were like the only people on the patio, and that was pretty nice, because it was cool. It was actually a little cold, so it's been over a month ago. It was a little cool, but we were the only people out there, and it was super quiet, super quiet. So, it's central for everybody where you're at. I don't know what we're going to do yet, baby. We'll have to talk about that later. I'm not sure. I mean, we're going to go to Kohl's, and Kohl's is, if we're going to go to Kohl's, maybe we can go do that. Yeah. That's a possibility. Show me stately. Where are you from? Well, I said it's still a possibility. Hey, Jay Short, hadn't seen you in a while. Glad you found me again. Missouri. All right. So we got Missouri in the house. What's going on, Jay? I'm sitting out in 60-degree weather, a little wind blowing, cloudy. What we should do in Canada? I don't know. Mary's planning on us taking a trip. Up there into September, beginning of October, trying to figure out what to do up that way. Going up to Toronto. So anybody got good ideas? Good country places to visit. Okay, you talking about what kind of country places, Jay? You talking about bars, or are you talking about restaurants? Are you talking about states? Bethel, New York? Oh, okay. Whew. Oh my goodness. Oh, country places maybe up in Toronto. Something to do up that way. Woodstock Museum. Okay. Woodstock Museum. That might be okay. You know, I was just a little bit too young for Woodstock. I mean, I was a young teenager. So I knew that I would have loved to have gone, but I knew that I wasn't such that I had a parent that was going to understand. And if I ran away, there wouldn't have been no coming back. Get weed there and go to the woods. Okay. You go there to camp? Okay. Whew. So anyway, maybe we'll go to Wild Wings, and we got to go to Kohl's. I don't know. We might have another errand or two to do, and then it's back here. So I don't know. I am pretty sore from the last 2 days. Go tree hugging. Oh my God. So, whew. Anyway, I'm pretty sore from the last 2 days of working on the shed and all of that. So I may be taking today off. I don't know yet, other than painting the door. I definitely need to get a coat on the other side of the door. So I may be taking a day off. I don't know. See how I feel later. But right now I am stiff. Oh my God, I am stiff. I took some CBD oil this morning. I've been moving around a little bit, and God, you give me permission to take 1 day off? Okay. I might take you up on that. I don't know. Only 1 day off. And it won't be a true day off, because whenever we get back, we got a big old roast that I meant to put on yesterday that I never got on. So we got to get the roast cooked. And I know we got to dust and some stuff like that. Rhode Island, coming from Rhode Island. Good. How long is she going to be with you, kitty cats? A couple of days, a weekend? Those of you that are older parents like we are, how many of you don't get to see your kids that much? All right, baby, have a great morning. 3 days, good. Yeah, I mean, it's like all of our kids are gone and grown. You know, we raised them to be independent young men rather than clingy little assholes. But like my wife's sister did. And so they have such busy lives that, you know, it's hard to see them very often. You know, I'd love to be able to see them more, but uh, you know, it's like we call, well, Mary, she called her son and say, hey, school's out. We know that, you know, you're going to have a little bit of time. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't mind the empty nesting. I really don't mind the empty nesting. It's the fact that, you know, getting together to visit doesn't happen that often. And it's such a pain. I mean, you know, even for, say you got to roll out of bed and make coffee. All righty, get your coffee made. Hey, Tom Buck, where are you from? I'm in the wilds of PA. Yeah, expensive. So I mean, you know, so when they live in North Carolina and they live in Georgia, and then we have even the closest one up here with the granddaughters. Uh, all righty, all right, Jay, get your coffee, man. I know priorities, dude. Priorities. Get the coffee. Um, but even with the one that's an hour and a half away, you know, it's like the girls have camp, the girls have this, you know. Uh, yeah, one in Coast Guard moves a lot. Yeah, that's true. That's going to be a pain too. And then, good thing is though, whenever you know you go to visit them, you're probably going to get to see water, see a beach somewhere, even if it's a rocky beach, you know. Mary would like that part because she could go and sit and watch the water while they're couldn't be disturbed because of their life or whatever, you know, or going on with their normal business, waiting for them to have time off. But anyway, I mean, you know, for us to go visit the two youngest sons, cool. For us to go visit the two youngest sons, well, that's a three-day trip minimum, usually closer to a 5-day trip or a week, because it's like a day to get down, and then if you visit one son one day, and then you visit the other son the next day, and then you come back the following day, well, there you're already at a 4-day trip, you know. And so we've done that. We've done that probably four times maybe this last year, or 3 times, and you know, geez. But last time we went down there, which is just a couple of months ago, Mary found us a great little Airbnb to stay at. And only bad thing is the bedroom was upstairs, and she had to climb those stairs, and they had some huge ass steps on them. And you know, it was like once she was up, she said, "There's no coming down until morning time." But it was a cute little place. It had chickens and, you know, a nice little stream right there beside the little cottage and all of that. So, and that was outside of Asheville, North Carolina. You know, the south side of Asheville. So we went down then one day to see the boy in Athens, and then came back, spent the night, then saw the other boy, and you know, then traveled part of that night towards home, and then got home the next day. And then the time before that, when we went down to see him, we like came up the Outer Banks, which which turned into like a week trip. And they were still cleaning up from one of the hurricanes from last summer when we went down, and it was pretty, but God, how flat. When you get used to the mountains and having hills and valleys and all of that, and you go over to the Outer Banks or even to the middle of the country, and you see how flat it is, you're going like, okay, give me a bump in the ground, something, you know. Give me a man-made pile of dirt, something. It's so flat. I mean, it has its own kind of beauty, but still, you know. So I'm definitely in love with being in the mountains. But Whew. Anyway, so been down to see them a couple of times. We went over to, they came up, I think for Christmas, a little bit before Christmas, not between Thanksgiving and Christmas. And so we're hoping they can do the same thing at least this year. If not come up for the holiday, at least come up in between the holidays, for a little while. It's not like we have a whole lot of place to put them, but still, like to see them come up for a while. Whew. Oh my goodness. I think I'm slowly waking up. I think I'm getting some good birds in. Cool. I have got to get some bird houses. I have not got any yet. I'm gonna listen to something else now that I'm awake a little bit. I wanted to listen to some hippity hoppity kind of stuff, and kind of get me going. So that was like Lindy Hop from like the 40s and 50s. So now I've changed it to like the Starbucks list. See how it goes for a minute. I don't know. That particular song though's got to go. Oh my God. Forget that shit. I'm going to have to listen to one of my own list. Okay. Okay. Come on. There we go. Now that I'm awake, that's more with it right there. Yeah, I love birds too. We are actually seeing more birds this year. Yeah, at Bethel, I do like 60s music. I think the 50s is when I finally found out there was something. I think when I finally found out that there was something besides country that my parents listened to, and Lawrence Welk, it was like the late 50s, early 60s, and so it was such a contrast to country. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's some country music I like too, but it was such a contrast that I like, oh God, yeah, And so that was when I first started really listening to other music other than like gospel, country, Lawrence Welk kind of stuff. And oh my God, it was such a change. Man, like I say, I was a little too young for Woodstock. Had I been 3-4 years older, especially knowing what asshole my parents were, I probably would have just run away and gone. Yeah, you're still was a little too young too. Yeah, I mean, I had cousins that were like in the military. I had cousins that were old enough to have gone, but they were like all into country, and they goddamn long-haired hippies. And yeah, well, I'm 65, so I mean, I was like 14, 15 at the time, and. I was definitely, like I say, I probably would have been okay had I had supportive parents that would have like understood and let me come back. But my parents were such that, if you leave, don't plan on ever coming back. My parents knew a thing called conditional love. You know how everybody, yeah, mommy wouldn't let you go? Yeah. I guess not. If you were like 13 or so, 12 or 13, it would have been a little bit too young. Yeah, a little 13, 14-year-old girl would have definitely been a lot more unsafe situation than for a 14, 15-year-old boy. Wouldn't have been a safe situation for either one. Hey, Pino, or oh, Navarra. Yeah, it made me mad too. But my parents were such that, like I say, they knew conditional love. You know, and that's one of the things that a Galaxy Rose, cool. I I when our kids grew up, we were like very different, you know, and we'd tell them we don't necessarily approve of what you're doing, but we still love you and we're going to support you. Whereas my parents, and I guess many of y'all's parents out there too, they were like, it was conditional. As long as you do what I tell you, when I tell you, how I tell you, everything's okay. I used to play piano, and I played a little bit of banjo, but I don't even have a banjo anymore. I don't have a piano anymore. And I used to play. Oh no, I never played in a band. You play the spoons? Yeah, my dad was a sergeant in the Army, and so he was like, oh God, super strict. Super strict. And then my mom was just a spiteful bitch. So, I mean, you know, so she was super mean. You play the radio? I played the piano for a long time, but matter of fact, I mean, I took lessons for years. So, I mean, I have a good understanding of music and all. And so even though I haven't played in years, you know, like Mary sometimes will want to play something and she'll say, I can't get this right. And so I'll go over and I'll like, it's like this is how it's supposed to go. And she's like, how can you do that? I'm going, because I played the piano for years. You know, you say, while you get rusty and you get, you know, like out of tune and everything, you can pick it back up pretty quick. So, I mean, you know, but I still have that basic understanding of music. So I can listen and I can tell lots of times when somebody like misses a note, kind of thing, you know, or if that was a note they meant to miss because of the song. Because I hear so many songs these days, I'm going, that should have been like, you know, 2 notes higher or 2 notes lower. It's like they purposely screeched out this wrong notes. Emma Rich. No, I have not seen Emma Rich. Mary watches Chester C. And I sometimes watch Chester C. And he's super talented. So we watch Chester C. sometimes. So if you haven't watched him, you ought to check him out. She plays a good piano. Yeah. So I mean, I enjoy listening. You know, I will. You know, I will sometimes put on piano or violin or, you know, even the cello guys. I'll put on the cello guys. So I mean, I enjoy instrumental. I actually enjoy pretty much every kind of music, but some of it I just get tired of quicker than others. You know, I will say that I'm not into gangster rap. I have nothing against rap. I just don't like gangster rap. And it's not because some of it doesn't have a good rhythm, because some of it does. Hey, Poo Pants. So some of the gangster rap does have a good rhythm to it, and it does have a good beat to it, but I don't like the message behind it. Because, I mean, you know, and even some of the country stuff, it's the same way. I don't like some of the message to it. You know, I don't like to hear about, you know, and like I say, I like the beat to some of it. So it's not the music that I don't like, because the music, if you're just listening to the music and not like taking in the words, some of it is really good. But, you know, I'm not into songs that's talking about treating women like whores and you know, music that's talking about hurting somebody. Just like some of the country music, I'm not into a whole lot of cheating country music. And I know somebody's out there saying, "Well, hell, that leaves out almost every country song." But you know, so I'm not into listening to a bunch of stuff about somebody cheating. Although I'll listen to a little bit of it, and I'm not listening. You know, I'm not into music of somebody going to wanting to pop somebody and you know pop a cap in somebody and you know talking about how they treat women bad and all of that. So, but the actual type of music is fine. It's just the message behind it. Which is why when I get in a really bad mood, you know, which doesn't happen very often, yeah, it makes you want to cry. Well, it's a lot of sad stuff, some of it is. You know, especially up until the 60s when they started going more like a blend between pop and classical country. Before that time, oh my God, yeah. And you know, I don't like music where people are doing a lot of nasal singing. So you wanted to cry for the whole trip, probably. Yeah. Well, see, when Mary's dad, mom and dad were alive, and we would run them up here a couple of times. I had an iPod that I kept. Well, I still have it, and even though they don't sell iPods like this anymore, I kept it just simply so I could hook it up to the car, and I had like 16 hours of country music that I could just play and not really repeat. And so my father-in-law, that's like the only thing he would listen to. And sometimes he would talk and sometimes he wouldn't talk on some of those trips. And so when he wouldn't talk, I would put that on and like, you know, at least I'd have music going, you know, which was better than silence. So, yeah, I remember Napster. So anyway, I mean, and I got this iPod. I really need to figure out a way to get that music, because the computer I had all this music on crashed. And so the only place I have this music is on that iPod. And whenever the battery goes, you know, it's gone. Oh God, yeah. I mean, I've got the entire Fleetwood Mac collection, the entire Ozzy Osbourne collection. Like I said, I had over 16 hours of country music on there. I've got the entire collection of Giovanni and 2 or 3 instrumental people on there. So, I mean, you know, I probably have, God, you know, I don't know, over 100,000 songs. I mean, that I would like to get that music somewhere else, but I just have not got myself motivated to do it, and I need to. I mean, I need to. One of these winter days when it's like nothing to do, used to DJ music and go to sleep. That's bad. That's bad, Jay. You got to keep the music going to keep yourself awake, man. Oh, man. But, you know, it's crazy. So, I mean, yeah, I got all of that and all of that music that I really need to get onto something else. And, you know, I'm not sure what about this iTunes shit. I'm still confused about it. You know, they're splitting iTunes up into videos and music and other stuff. And I'm going, fuck. I'm going, that's going to be a mess. I hope all of my songs transfer because I mean I got a bunch of music on iTunes. And the sad thing is, you know, at one time you could find free music on iTunes, and now it's like I haven't found a free song on iTunes in years. unless it's like an indie song that they're featuring for the week of a group you've never heard of. You know what I mean? So out of these 100,000 plus songs I got, I can't find any of them for free on iTunes. Because if I could, I would just transfer my music from my iPod over into iTunes and have all of that music. But no, I don't know. They didn't. They was doing that for a while, and then I think they quit, and I lost my opportunity. And now it's like, fuck. If something happens to my iPod, all of that music's gone. So I don't know. They used to have a thing too that you could you could hook up to the iPod, and you could rip music from other places. Like somebody else would have somebody else had an iPod, and I had an iPod. There was like this little device you could like hook between the two iPods, and we could like share songs. And that's how I got a bunch of my music too, is from like sharing songs with people. They'd say, oh man, I would love to have the Ozzy collection. I go, great, give me the Jethro Tull and the, so-and-so collection. And then we'd sit there and we'd like swap music, or copy each other's music. But hey, the music industry found a way to get rid of that. But anyway, I don't know what I'm going to do about iMusic, iTunes also. I haven't done, I've read a couple of Flipboard articles about it, and some of the articles say that all of your music should transfer. And then other ones are saying, well, it should transfer, but if you want to make sure, you need to back it up this way. So I'm going, oh, fuck. So there's another thing I got to do, or not do, and take the chance. So I'm not sure which way I'm going yet. But all right, last of the coffee. Look at that! Look at that on the bottom. Can't drink that part, but too many grams in it, But so I don't know what I'm going to do about that. Something. Don't know what, but something. Any of you guys out there got the same problem with iTunes or with having an old iPod that you can't get everything off of or anything? If you do, let me know. If you got a solution, it's an easy solution, let me know the easy solution. Yeah, I've got stuff from, and right now, it's not that important because I have, oh fuck. Anyway, right now it's not that important because I do have Spotify. But if something happens to Spotify, it's like, it's crazy because I'm just renting the music, So if I ever leave, well, here's the thing. If I burn them to CDs, well, I don't even have the capability to burn to CDs anymore because, I've got I got a portable player, but God, you know how many CDs that's going to take? And you know when the last time I listened to a CD was? It's been years. I got one of those little pads, Mary and I do, that's like this thick of CDs, like this long. It's like 4 CDs to a sleeve. Anyway, I got one of those this thick, and I haven't listened to one of those in years. Yeah, but it's a lot of work to make MP3 files. It's a lot of work. It's not like you can say, okay, convert this over to MP3 files. Because last time I tried that, it didn't want to name the songs right. And so I was like, oh, fuck. I got to go into every song and like put the title and put the artist. And, I think I actually started doing that, Jay, and it became such an overpowering thing. I mean, it was like so daunting of a task that I quit. I think I did get a bunch of the Beatles stuff over, because I have an entire collection of Beatles stuff on my thing. It's another artist I have the complete set of, and I started on some of the Beatles stuff, and it was such a pain. I was having to like go back and put the name in and the artist in, and for every fucking song. I mean, it would save them without a problem. Untitled 1, Untitled 2, Untitled 3. But who the hell wants CDs and CDs of untitled shit? So, I don't have the complete set of Frank Sinatra, but I do have maybe half a dozen songs by him, and then about half a dozen by Dean Martin. My mom was a big, after they finally like loosened up on country, she would listen to Dean Martin. And so and some of his stuff I did like. And, I have one or two songs by Sammy Davis Jr. on my iPod. So, I mean, so my mom would listen to the Dean Martin show. And, sometimes Sammy would be on there. Of course, he would sing every week. And, like I think I actually first heard Nancy Sinatra on his show. And some things like that. So, I mean, I have a few of them on my iPod. I can't get them off. I mean, I guess I could, but like I say, like we've already talked about, it's a pain in the ass trying to get them off. So anyway, come one of these winters, when there's nothing else to do and the snow is like 3 foot deep outside and I'm housebound, I have the feeling I'm probably going to tackle that again. But I'm damn sure not going to be tackling it while the weather's pretty and while it's nice outside, because I just love to be outside too much. And Mary's pretty much the same way. If she weren't like doing internet research, and because that's how she spends a lot of her mornings, she like gets on the carnivore chats and keto chats and listens to people that's into that and all of that. And so if she wasn't doing that stuff, and then some mornings even when she does, then she's out, she's outside too. So we spend a lot of time outside, especially when the weather's like it is right now. So it was 90 there. Wow, it got up to 82 here yesterday. 82 was the high. And to be honest with you, if you weren't in the direct sun, it really didn't feel that bad. It's only when you was like in the direct sun that it felt bad. But if you was in any place at all where there was shade, then all was cool with the world, kind of thing. For those of you that think I've gone to the effort to get dressed this morning, I'm in my PJs still. So, hot, humid, and sticky, huh? Yeah, hot and humid equals a sticky person. Yeah, absolutely. And that's why we're like high-fived each other yesterday that we finally got out of the South. Yeah. Because we was looking at somebody's page in Columbus, and it was like the mid-90s. We're going, fuck. Yeah, we'll take this 82. We'll take this 82. Forget that 90-degree weather. Mid-90s in June, which means in July it's going to be like in the hundreds. And if it gets 100 up here, it damn sure won't stay 100 very long. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's been a while now. I had put my title in. And I said, okay, let me get my cup of coffee before I get my coffee and stuff before I start the scope. And then I come back, I hadn't even got my shirt on yet. And I'm like walking around in my PJ bottoms. Yeah. Of course, I'm kind of like that, Jay. I mean, no kids here. It's like clothes will come off in a heartbeat. If I'm walking around in PJs, that's doing good. Especially if I'm not going anywhere right then. Because, sometimes I like walk around with nothing. Other times it might just be shorts, and stuff like that. Shorts is in underwear. And then other days it's like, pajamas. Yeah. Probably some little preteen kid, if they saw it out there though, they're probably like shocked for life. They're like they're like mentally scarred for life. Oh my God, I saw an old man half naked. Yeah. Oh, the trauma. What they don't realize is some of them are going to wish they were in this good a shape when they get my age. You know what I mean? I mean, I see so many teens these days that already have a belly bigger than mine. I'm going, oh fuck boy, you better like be doing something. You better be doing something, or you're gonna end up looking like you're pregnant by the time you're like 16. You can be walking around with a Bubba beer gut for sure if you don't get busy doing something else. So I mean, yeah. And all of these people go, oh, it's baby fat, they'll outgrow it. No, they won't. If you get them hooked on sugar and carbs, and you just keep shoving the shit to them, and don't educate them better. Hey, Toby, how's it going? Where are you from? So if you don't educate them about the sugar addiction and carb addiction and all that kind of stuff, and you give them junk, you're just setting them up for health problems and weight problems down the road. I mean, let's look at just me. I'm low carb. I'm not keto. I'm not carnivore. Mary's pretty much carnivore. But, I'll eat a piece of pie from time to time. If we're out, I might, don't always, might eat the English muffin or something. But it's very rare. But anyway, so, just no sugar, staying away from obvious sugars, and staying away from most flour products. I lost 60 pounds in like 9 months. Yeah, well, I love food too. But the thing is, you can fix whatever you're paid to fix for other people. And then you can eat the good shit yourself and control your own destiny. It's better to eat hamburgers than it is to fill yourself up on some creative pasta type dish. I mean, don't get me wrong. I had a great pasta dish for mine and Mary's anniversary on the 18th. We were going to buy a tomahawk steak, and share it, but we decided not to. She decided she wanted shrimp and all of that. Yeah, well, it's not a matter of the salt. I mean, you do need a certain amount of salt, but and I know as a chef you know that, but some people do over-salt everything. And if you're eating processed foods, you damn sure don't need to salt anything. But see, I don't eat processed foods anymore. I mean, but I understand what you're talking about, Jay, because I've never been a chef, but I've been like a line cook a couple of different times in my life, and it's real hard just to not like grab a fry and check it out, or eat a couple of fries while you're like lull time waiting on somebody else, or things like that. Really? No salt in any of your soups? Cool. I used to work when I was a young 20-something. I worked for Shoney's as a kitchen manager. Of course, that's not a chef. That's just like a glorified line cook. So I mean, I've never been a chef, trained chef, but I was a glorified line cook. And Shoney's, I used to know every soup recipe by heart, because I would come in every day and it was like potato soup. We're going to make 5 gallons of potato soup right off the bat, because it was like the biggest seller at that time. And then it was like, okay, so what soup do I want to make? Absolutely. So then I'd figure out, okay, what kind of soup after that? What time of year is it? And what soup do we want to go with? What are people going to eat so that maybe tomorrow I don't have to make 5 gallons of potato soup? But I would make 10 gallons of soup every day. And Shoney's had like soup, they had like buffet, vegetable, and salad and soup buffet. And so, it's like every day, 10 gallons of soup got made. And so, I can only imagine somebody that's a true chef that's making it as you go, Yeah. Or making smaller portions more often. Oh my God. But even when I was there, there was a lot of things I stayed away from. I fixed them for people, but I damn sure stayed away from it. That was your soup du jour yesterday? Loaded potato soup? Yeah. Do you put bacon in your loaded potato soup? Because I used to. I've been a couple of places where they did not put the bacon. I'm going, how's that considered a loaded potato soup if there's no bacon in it? You got everything else but no bacon. That's just a fancier potato soup. But, I come to find out not everybody puts bacon. So, and I don't, like I say, I don't eat out that much anymore. When we eat out, it's usually things like eggs and bacon. Yeah, sour cream is really what throws it over the edge. Do you add cheese to yours? Or do you let them just like put a little cheese on the top? Because I used to put, the recipe Shoney's had called for the bacon, cheese, sour cream, of course the potatoes and onions, and Shoney's seasoning salt. Yeah, cheddar cheese. And which was like a mixture of paprika and salt and pepper and a couple of other things. And so, it was like every day. Oh my God. But people loved it. But yeah, I stay away from those things like that personally now. That's that high carb. I do occasionally get out a thing called, when I go out, I'll get a thing called cheeseburger soup, which is basically like a mixture of Velveeta and cheddar with hamburger and onions. And that's pretty good. But, it's low carb, but some people, yeah, Mary might like horseradish cheese, but I'm not much into horseradish. Yes, it's a very creamy cheese soup, and it's good. It's good. And so I'll get that from time to time. But I come to find out that in the recipe, uh, some people add to the cheese recipe, they'll add a roux to it. And so I'm going, oh my God, you've just ruined the soup for me. Because now you're putting a flour-based roux in before you add the cheese and stuff. I'm going, now there's the flour, there's the carbs sneaking up on me without me even realizing it. And you know, and it's amazing, Jay, how many people out there can't make a roux. You say you keep a pot of roux in the kitchen. Yeah, yeah. And I used to make roux for some of the Shoney soups. It would require a certain kind. And to be honest with you, some of the wine sauces I make, I don't make much of them anymore. But some of the wine sauces I would make, you have to start out with a roux. And so now I've got to where I just make the cream wine sauces because there's several you can make without the roux. And they're a little off in the taste, but they're still good. So for Mary, I make a cream wine sauce for her shrimp, and when I make her shrimp and sometimes and she like it's like a cream garlic wine sauce. So I mean, no, I think it's good. I've made a tequila sauce before that you know that required tiny bit of roux in it, and that you serve over shrimp, and it's pretty good too. Trouble is, I don't like shrimp. So I mean, I can make these sauces, and I like the sauces and everything, but um, the one thing that I always hate making is lobster. I hate lobster. I mean, I like lobster. I hate making lobster. Oh my God. Last time I did lobster, I did like 2 cases. And I'm like, I already, only eat lobster like once a year. Yeah, but I mean the damn brine for it. Oh my God! I'm like, uh, the brine takes forever to get right to me. I mean, I can do it, and I can you know, it's just so long, so long. And then we take all of the claws and everything and add it to the brine and then pull it out, and that's what we would use for like the stuffing, lobster stuffing. And God, you know, it's like, oh my God, it took me 8, 10 hours, 10 hours to do 2 cases of lobster. I mean, I was like flat, didn't do anything but lobster. I mean, that comes from preparing them to cooking them to getting them stuffed and all of that. We did that for last time I was working as a line cook. We did that at for Valentine's Day. They had a steak and lobster special, and oh my God, I was so tired of lobster. Love the birds in the background? Yeah, me too. The wind blows sometimes. You get a little bit of the wind chimes. You get the birds. You know, somebody's burning a fire somewhere. I can smell the wood smoke. You know, it's great out here. Wood smoke, scent, a little bit of breeze, wind chimes, the birds. You know, haven't seen as many rabbits this year. So I mean, I still see a few rabbits, but not near as many as I was seeing last year. So I don't know if my mothballs in some of the holes like killed them and drove them off, or if the birds are chasing them away, because I've got more birds this year than we've ever had. And, or what, but the rabbit population, while it's still here, is not as bad as it was last year, thank God. It was horrendous last year. Butterflies are rare this year. I've seen a few, not a lot, but I didn't think it was quite butterfly season yet, but maybe it is. I don't know. We get a thing up here called gypsy moths, and they are flat destructive. Oh my God. You know, you've got to really watch out for them up here. They'll like mess stuff up in a heartbeat. So, you know, supposedly the government's answer to battling the moth problem was to release black flies up here. And now, it's like now the black flies are a problem. Like, come on, guys. Couldn't have you released something that wasn't a problem to help, like, control the moth situation? Supposedly, they compete for some of the same kinds of foods. And where the black flies are, it will drive down the moth population. But now, not this year yet. It's usually the end of July, August. Oh my God. Last year, the fly situation got really bad. And that's one of the reasons I'm trying to get everything cleaned up and cleared out, is I'm trying to get rid of all of the homes where they can, like, be anywhere around me. So last year I was cleaning out a place, and I had my sling blade, and I went down and cut a place, and the flies literally covered my arm. I mean, I went like this, crushing them and killing them as I pulled them off. They were so thick. I mean, it was horrible. I actually got sick from getting so many fly bites. And so, you know, that's why I'm slowly cleaning out part of an area that hasn't been cleaned out for like forever. And it's taken me a while. I mean, it's taken me a while. So I've got it all cleaned out on the side hill in front of the house where they were like having places to like breed or whatever. And I'm working on getting rid of the area around the fire ring. That'll get rid of another area where they can breed. And then I have the trail down outside of the fence. And I've got about a third of that cleaned out. So now there's not any place right next to the house where they can breed, and you know, and all. But hell, they'll go a mile looking for food. So you know, I'm trying to get that other little part cleaned out too this year. But weather's not really cooperating with me real good. You know, my motivation to actually get out and work in the morning sometimes is pretty low. Like today, I'm using. Yeah, well, you know, I use mouthwash and vinegar, and that works pretty good too. You know, so use the vinegar and the mouthwash, and that will help. I spray that around, and they say that it will last, you know, several weeks. So, you know, I spray, but with all this rain, I don't know. I'm gonna have to reapply. But, you know, and it seems to work fairly decently. That way I'm not putting any harsh chemicals in the ground or around the house for Emma to get into, or, you know, no chances of it like blowing back on my skin and all of that. And my garden is completely natural, pesticide free. So about the only thing I do is I go out there and yeah. Well, see, I have mothballs, and here's another thing. If you use mothballs, see my little tub of mothballs there? If you use mothballs and you like put it in a little bit of water and then, you know, cut holes in the top of the thing for it to vent, not only is it supposed to drive off snakes, but it also drives off little rodents like mice and stuff like that because they don't like the smell of it. So I got mothballs set out a little couple of places in containers. Try to be as natural as possible. Don't want to, yeah, field mice and stuff because that's what our problem out here is. They'll come in the cold weather. And then inside the garage and inside the basement, I also have those subsonic things plugged into the outlets. And they're supposed to drive them away too. We don't really have rats. We just have mice. But if you don't do something to try to control the mice, they could become a problem. And we have chipmunks. And chipmunks can be more destructive than mice can be. And if I keep the mice population down, or at least away from the house, that will also keep the snakes away from the house because they're looking for like easy food. And what's an easier food than when you got a big population of mice? So I haven't seen any this year. But a couple of years ago, it was like, oh my God, crazy. They even got inside my barbecue grill, and I had to like clean out the barbecue grill. They'd actually like dragged stuffing from something into my barbecue grill. We can't have this shit. So I had to like take it apart and clean it up and all of that. That was crazy. They got in one of the, how you have the lawn chairs in the little bags? They got in the bottom of, built a nest in the bottom of the lawn chair bag. Crazy. Hey, did you hear about the crazy guy that like threw the mouse into the fire and then it like ran into his house and burned his house down? I didn't get from the article if he purposely threw the mouse into the fire or if he was just cleaning up shit and then there was a mouse in the stuff he threw into the fire. But I'm going like, It's turned into a mouse hotel. Yeah. Yeah, mice will take advantage of anything if you're not careful. They'll take advantage of anything. So, I cleaned out from under the front porch a couple of years ago. And, God, I chased off probably a couple of mice, 3 or 4 moles, a family of possums, and, all of that kind of stuff. Because I hadn't cleaned up under the porch in like 5-6 years. And so I did that, not this summer, but last year, and chased away a couple of families of different animals. So now I got to get back under there, and it's got to become like a yearly thing. Because in the wintertime, the leaves will blow up under the porch. And then if you don't get them, they got like a nice little bed of stuff to, stay warm in the wintertime. They're protected from the weather, and then they got leaves to be warm. So I have to get under there like once a year, once every other year, and rake all the leaves out from under the porch and everything. And you've seen my front porch, so it's a pretty big area for them. I got to keep them gone because the last thing I want to do is get some groundhogs or something up under there, So definitely got to keep it clear. You've not seen raccoons where you're at? Yeah, we have raccoons, we have possums, groundhog. Hey, Miss Emma. Is your mom coming out with you, or did she just let you out? If I come outside, sometimes Emma will stay in with Mary. Other times she's like, I want to go out where Daddy's at. And everything was so wet this morning that we don't want her out because then I have to take her in and give her a shower, Yeah, I saw she came right out. Were you coming out too, or are you just letting her out because she was begging to come out? She's like, She's on the porch looking around. She's not leaving the porch yet. The grass has dried a little bit. She was begging. Yeah, that's what I was saying when I saw her when she first came out. I wasn't sure if you'd just let her out because she was begging or not. But anyway, Jay has been talking to me a while. At least somebody's talking this morning. Yeah. Oh, she just took off out into the yard after a bird. Mary says she almost caught one the other day. I don't know what we're going to do when she finally decides she can catch a bird. Now she's like smelling where the bird was. She's like checking it out. Heaven help us if she ever catches an old. Yeah, Jay must have had to go. So I may be signing off here pretty quick. I think I've had like 5 people in. But Jay helped. He was passing the time because he was talking to me. So, all righty. Well, I'm gonna sit out here a minute longer with her and finish my coffee, and then I'll come in and we can figure out what we're doing. 12. Yeah, I knew it wasn't a lot. I knew it wasn't many. But oh well. Yeah, I know. Oh, there you are. Okay. Yeah. So I think I'm going to go. I'm going to finish my cup of coffee and just enjoy nature a little while. And then, like I say, Mary and I are going to decide if we're going to go to Buffalo Wild Wings and do Coles and all of that. So he'll give me a hit. Yeah. I'm feeling better. I took the CBD this morning, so I'm already feeling better. So hopefully moving around a little bit more, I'll feel even better. So, all right. Everybody have a great day. Enjoy your day. Stay positive. Stay away from sugar. Don't eat any more flour than you have to eat. And if you can eat no flour, even better for you. And we'll talk to you guys another day. Bye now. Bye now.